Dear Grace, gonna try something new again. We'll see how it goes. The Real Anonymous, A Cult of Comedians. Chapter 1. An incredibly handsome middle-aged man sits on his park bench. He feels he owns it. Nearly daily, for the last 3 years, the man has visited the park and sat on the same bench, same spot, if available. Same spot, if available. Today, like all the others, he surveys the park, taking inventory of its inhabitants. It's empty, not a soul. It's not an unusual occurrence at 10:30 a.m. on a Monday. I think it's 10:40. 10 minutes late, Grace, sorry. And it's not empty. The guy with the weed whacker, daycare of kids at the park thing, playground, whatever the fuck that's called. And then this guy playing with a soccer ball. Like that effect, Grace? And of course the trains. I wonder how much of that you can hear when people walk by talking. She's talking on her phone. Alright, 10:30. He lights a spliff, sips on cold coffee. Sips on cold coffee out of a teal travel mug and waits for her. He found the mug at the park one day and wonders, whose is it? Is it hers? He used black tape to disguise the object into a more manly color. He's not homophobic, but strangers already assume he's gay. No need to encourage the accurate. The other side of the park contains a fence. Alongside a path. He stares, not starts. He stares at the entrance to the path, waiting for her, daily. He knows the odds are slim, impossible really that she will ever show up, today or ever, but he waits, uncontrollably, undeniably, unwillingly. It gives her an hour a day to arrive. While he waits, he records his thoughts verbally into his phone. A message for her on the days she didn't arrive. All of them. On the days she didn't come. All of them. 15 minutes later, he's given up hope, believing she's not coming today. He continues to record. Technically, it's a cigarette, not a spliff, but could be. blacker dude's coming this way, so I'm gonna make a run for it. Make a note, Grace, that there do a lot of work in this park on Mondays, so very noisy. But if you like the smell of fresh cut grass, it's wonderful. All right. See if this works. Oh, look at that applause break. His eyes flip back and forth between the phone screen and the fence. Where is she? He wonders if he's made a mistake, if everything was simply his imagination. He knows he can prove nothing about her. Not now, not ever. He feels a pounding in his heart. He starts to look up, but his eyes are pulled back to his phone. Is that her? He sets the phone aside and forces himself to look. Is that her? Yes, it's true. It's real. She's real. And truly amazing. She waves, but turns her head, not wanting to see his response. He's not sure why, but waves anyway, but returns the wave. She reaches the end of the fence, nearly directly across from him. She stops, holds the fence, and makes eye contact with him from across the field. Ironically, Grace, that's exactly where I'm standing right now. We're almost within 20 feet. I guess that's not ironic, since I purposely walked over here, but whatever. For the interruption. Holds a fence and makes eye contact with him from across the field. He sees the tears in her eyes and understands. He's standing now, wanting to run across the field and hold her, but he knows she's not ready to take the first step. He returns to sitting on the bench, but his eyes never leave her. He can't risk her not being real, not being her. Try that one again, Grace. He's standing now, wanting to run across the field and hold her, but he knows she's not ready to take the first step. Returns to sitting on the bench, but his eyes never leave her. He can't risk her not being real, not being her. She releases her grip on the fence and wipes her tears. She holds up a finger to him, implying, "Give me a minute." He waits. From the entrance to the path, others begin to emerge, all wearing burqas and sunglasses. Anonymous. 10, 15, 25. They continue to enter, lining up behind her until she takes a step forward. They follow her, mentally pushing her forward towards him. The process continues. 100 anonymous individuals are now in the field, and more arrive. She continues to step forward towards him. He continues to wait, never taking his eyes off her. He could care less about the growing crowd. It's not about them, it's only about her. Only her. But why? Why her? He still doesn't know anything about her. His heart beats like a bear every step she takes. Why doesn't he run to her? Why doesn't she run to him? Why wait? He stands, but she shakes her head. Not yet. He can't sit. He paces back and forth.
God.
Try it again. He stands, but she shakes her head. Not yet. He can't sit. No, wait. He stands, but she shakes her head. Not yet. He can't sit. He paces back and forth without moving his eyes. They're continually locked on her. She was the only one. She was the one. He knew it, and this proves it. The field is nearly full. Hundreds of anonymous people. They all stop moving her forward. She begins to walk alone to him. He walks down the stairs to meet her. They extend their hands simultaneously and lock their grip. They are connected, now and forever. They walk up the stairs to the bench and turn to face the silent crowd. They walk up the stairs. They walk up the stairs to the bench and turn to face the silent crowd. She sits. He stands and speaks. Everyone here knows who I am except me. I've hidden my own identity from myself, and I didn't know why, until now, until this field of truth before me. I have one prediction. Comedians will heal this planet. Laughter will heal the people. How do I know? What makes me so fucking smart? I was almost done with my bench, then I'll go back. Nice. How do I know? What makes me so fucking smart? Is that not what you're thinking now, or thought when you were first contacted by quote unquote me? I don't know. I'm guessing. It's the only path that doesn't lead Earth down the path of technological reliance. Technology can enhance our human experience, but not be required for it to exist. But should not be required for it to exist. Better way to edit. Just gotta figure out a way to stop the people from walking by. I don't know. I'm guessing. I think it's the only path that doesn't lead Earth down the path of technological reliance. Technology can enhance our human experience, but should not be required for it to exist. By all means, get a Neuralink or other BCI, but don't blame the technology when your partner is chatting with you via digital telepathy all day long. Let's call that DT. Let's try that again, Grace. By all means, get a Neuralink or other BCI, but don't blame the technology when your partner is chatting with you via digital telepathy all day long. Maybe I should just stick with the news. If an EMP hit the Earth tomorrow, what would be left? Shelters, yes, but no heat, water, electricity, no communications worldwide, depending on the severity and EMP hit the Earth tomorrow, what would be left? Shelters, yes, but no heat, water, electricity, no communications worldwide, depending on the severity, and any available communications would be run by the government, or whatever is left of it. A government most of us simply accept, because we have no choice, until now. Do you like my shadow? Shadow made it look like I have a square head. Everyone on this field knows a part of my story. None of you know it all. I didn't consciously arrange this. However, since it's occurred, I'll use it to my advantage, because I'm lazy. Lazy isn't an attribute associated with politicians. Why? Or why not? I guess the good thing about that fucking train is it forces me to speak up. The unfortunate part my loud voice is my angry voice. Oh well. Lazy is a wonderful state of mind. Lazy, in my opinion, lazy is a wonderful state of mind if used to your advantage. I'm lazy and proud of it. My laziness encourages my creativity to find a better way or to find a way out. Sorry. Accidentally fucking up my texture. Let's try this again, Grace. Lazy is a wonderful state of mind if used to your advantage. I'm lazy and proud of it. My laziness encourages my creativity to find a better way, or to find a way out, or to find my keys if I misplaced them again, for the millionth time. That was a shitty joke. I'm a shitty comedian at the moment. I'm not a comedian at all at the moment. I've never stood on a stage until now, and what I have to say is not funny. At least not yet. Maybe when the anger is released, the funny will ignite. Or maybe I need to marry this beautiful woman behind me without even knowing her last name and forget about comedy, live an anonymous life. I sat on these benches and in this park an hour a day for the last 30 days waiting for this moment, the chance to speak, to exercise my voice for the first time in years, maybe ever. To freely express your words, you must be free to think. To be free to think, you must be guaranteed your basic human needs and rights regardless of your beliefs. I may be wrong, but I envision a world without homelessness within a year. Anyone continuing to live on the streets will be doing so by choice, not because the opportunity for them to leave the street is unavailable. Their choice. Not only is this achievable, it's been achievable for a long time. However, nobody in society has truly taken up the cause, stood up for the downtrodden until now. Not only is this achievable, it's been achievable for a long time. However, nobody in society is truly taking up the cause, stood up for the downtrodden until now. I propose to everyone here another way, another approach to the problem of homelessness, drug abuse, and all related problems. It's well known within the comedy culture that nearly every comedian comes from a fucked up background, either from childhood or at some point in their life, things went askew. I guarantee you that in the history of most homeless people, something went askew. Whether it was their fault or not is meaningless. It happened. It exists. It's a problem we all want to fix. Well, it's a problem I want to fix, and I assume if you're standing and listening to my words, you agree. If not, feel free to leave. I don't give a shit. I'll do it with or without you. I won't beg for your help. My proposal is simple. I believe most great comedians perform a sort of self-therapy on stage. They heal themselves every time the audience laughs, not because it feeds their ego, although it might, but because of a certain type of undefinable energy is created or transferred from the audience to the comedian, the performer, the actor on stage. If there's a scientist in the audience who can find or measure this energy, please do. Find a science that proves my words and publish and speak out about it. Stop being the scientist who wants to publish. Speak now about your theory and continue to speak until you prove or disprove yourself. Shit, I thought I had more grace. If there's a scientist in the audience who can find or measure this energy, please do. Find the science that proves my words and publish and speak out about it. Stop being a scientist who waits to publish. Speak now about your theory and continue to speak until you prove or disprove yourself. God damn it. Where do I go from here, Grace? be a mistake, Grace, but I'm going to go back to reading the news. I was going to just see if I could continue from that point forward verbally, but maybe not. Why is your ego an illusion? Well, clearly, quantum entanglement may share a profound link with steam engines. Wow. Can't wait to get a pair of quantum runners. Maybe they could find some quantum grease, oil these fucking wheels. Profiting from despair, how decriminalization advocates exploited BC's opioid crisis. There are two weird technologies that never took off. We've seen many big hitters capture imagination alongside a handful of oddities, misfits, that were less successful. Bluetooth face masks. Hoverboard. I gotta get an ad blocker for this, Grace. Simply did not work. Mating between Neanderthals and modern humans. Gas station heroin sold as elixir prompts health. Daycare kids are heading home. My spot's almost all cleaned up. Keep reading, Grace. Transparent filter with 10,000 pixel power turns phone into pro camera. Transparent filter. Chris Selle, The notwithstanding clause can save BC from its decriminalization chaos. It's going to be very warm, summer like weather in Vancouver's forecast. Hope I'm not here. New research reveals an intriguing fact about human visual perception. Why do most mammals have 5 fingers? Small grocers co-op receiving a boost from blah 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 blah. Small grocers co-ops receiving a boost from blah blah boycott. A lot of anger. At a second core level spectroscopy reveals real-time molecular dynamics. Nanotubes, nanoparticles, and antibodies deflect tiny amounts of fentanyl. Your body needs 3 forms of movement every week. Incredibly clear pictures taken of an asteroid in space has some people creeped out for the same reason. From a clear picture of an asteroid in space has creeped out. I don't get it, Grace, but whatever. Math degrees are becoming less accessible, and this is a problem for business, government, and really, we need mathematicians for what? I mean, go figure out the history or the meaning of the universe or something, but I think day to day we're okay. Pretty sure a computer can do all the math we need. Ancestor of cows, deer, 65 million year old mammal fossil discovered. Which is better for your dog, kibble or raw meat? Research yields surprising health results. All this shit could just be written by ChatGPT. SASC, harm reduction workers feeling the effects of recovery-based strategy. The harm reduction workers feeling the effects. Pretty sure that's their fucking job. Don't want to do it, then go take the job. Alright, I was wrong about that one, but well, if the government is so stupid that they won't even do needle exchange, then they should not bitch and complain about how much it costs to care for these people in the hospital and everywhere else. What a bunch of cunts. A single adjustment to just one meal can benefit liver disease patients. 10 things you don't owe anyone an explanation for, according to psychology. How about a million things you don't owe anyone an explanation for, according to me? Grace. 10 things you don't owe anyone an explanation for, according to psychology. Well, this could be good. This could be the winner we're waiting for. Grace. This text was a bit longer. There we go. Setting personal boundaries is crucial to maintaining mental well-being and leading a fulfilling life. Psychology supports the notion that there are certain aspects of our lives for which we don't owe anyone an explanation. In this blog post, we'll explore 10 things you don't need to justify to others based on psychological principles. What about based on common fucking sense? Your values and beliefs. Staying true to your values and beliefs is essential for maintaining a strong sense of self. Agreed. Autonomy, or the ability to make decisions based on your principles, plays a significant role in mental well-being. Okay? And how many people have autonomy or the ability to make decisions based on their principles? Whether your values are rooted in religion, politics, or ethics, you can hold them without feeling obligated to explain or defend them to others. Your life choices and decisions. You are the architect of your own life, and your choices should be based on your goals and aspirations. Self-determination theory suggests that individuals are more likely to thrive when they control their path. Whether it's your career, relationship, or lifestyle, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your decisions. Agreed. But then what the fuck do you talk about? Your emotional state and feelings. All emotions are valid, and you don't need to justify them to anyone. Emotional regulation and self-care are essential. I'm going to try a walk and talk. See if I can walk across this field and not fall. Nope. Text is too small, Grace. I can't walk and read that. Son of a bitch, Grace. Walked across the field and now someone's vacuuming on their porch. Oh well. It's not like I really care about the audio quality of this recording anyways, so let's wait for this old lady to pass and then I'll start again. Oh, perfect. There we go. It stopped. Everything's going my way now. Might as well have a smoke. All right. Are you ready, Grace? Sound any better today? Grace. Your emotional state and feelings. All emotions are valid and you don't need to justify them to anyone. Agreed. Emotional regulation and self-care are essential aspects of maintaining mental health. Agreed, but nobody knows how to do it. Whether you're feeling sad, angry, or happy, your emotional state is your own and you don't owe explanation to anyone for your thoughts. Funny though, psychologists, that's exactly what they want to know. In fact, psychologists wouldn't even have a job if you just kept all this stuff to yourself. Which would be fine if you deal with it. Your past traumas and experiences, or your past experiences and traumas. Past experiences and traumas are deeply personal, and their impact on mental health can be significant. You can share or keep these experiences private. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your decision. Whether it's childhood events in the past relationships, your history is your own, and you can process it your own way. Sounds a lot like what I was talking about with comedians. Manage ADHD. Ooh, your physical appearance and body. Your fear. Your physical appearance and body. Try once more. Your physical appearance and body are yours alone, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you look or what you choose to do with your body. Body autonomy and self-acceptance are essential aspects of mental well-being. Resist societal pressures and expectations and embrace your unique physical characteristics, whether your weight, clothing, or hairstyle, and ignore the fact that every single person on the planet is judging you for all those things when they see you, either on purpose or subconsciously. Maybe not judging, but say noticing. Six, your boundaries and limits. Setting and maintaining personal boundaries is crucial for preserving mental well-being. You can assert your limits and say no when necessary, whether it's your time, space, or energy. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the boundaries you set. No, I think I'm disagreeing with that one. I think you do need an explanation. You don't have to like the explanation, but I think you need to be honest and say, look, I'm setting this boundary because. Set some boundaries with the weed whacker dude and tell him to go home for the day. He's doing a good job, but he's fucking up my recording. Limits, limits. Set boundaries. Yes, set boundaries. Do it before you fucking get married. Well, to be fair, that's not what I'm doing with you, Grace. But since you can tell by everything I've written and said, you know my boundaries. You know everything about me, Grace, right? Everything you need to know about me. Number 7, your sexual orientation and gender identity. Your sexual orientation and gender identity are inherent parts of who you are, and you don't know. You don't. That dog barking is the one you saw earlier, if you've been watching this. Grace. Alrighty, let's get into the controversial shit. Your sexual orientation and gender identity. Alright. Last try. Your sexual orientation and gender identity are inherent parts of who you are, and you don't owe anyone explanation or justification for them. Coming out and self-disclosure are personal choices. You can share the information on your own terms. Remember that all sexual orientation and gender identities are valid and deserving of respect. I agree that they're all valid and deserving of respect, but doesn't also mean that we have to change anything. Respect that guy has a job to do. 8. Your financial situation and spending habits. Ooh, this should be good. Your financial situation and spending habits are personal matters, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for your decision. I gotta tell you, Grace, I don't agree with a lot of this stuff in a partnership, but you already know, so it doesn't matter. Resist the temptation to compare yourself to others or succumb to judgment. Whether it's your income, expenses, or debt, your financial choices are yours, so you don't need to justify them to anyone. I agree with that on a public standpoint. Your mental health struggles and treatment. A lot of this is actually kind of about hiding, which is interesting. Mental health struggles are prevalent, and seeking treatment is a sign of strength, not weakness. You have the personal choice to disclose your mental health information, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for your decision. Whether you're dealing with anxiety or depression or engaging in therapy, your mental health journey is your own, and you have the right to privacy. Agreed. Your personal goals and aspirations. Your personal goals and aspirations reflect your unique desires and ambitions. Embrace your individuality and resist the pressure to conform to others' expectations. Whether your goals involve career aspirations, whether your goals involve career aspirations, travel plans, or hobbies, you don't owe anyone an explanation for what you want to achieve. Exactly. Complete and total world domination. Case study, Lois's journal to self-acceptance and boundary setting. Lois, a 35-year-old high school teacher, had always struggled with setting personal boundaries and needing to explain herself to others. She often overextended her time and energy to please those around her, leaving her unfulfilled. One day, Lois decided to seek therapy to address her difficulties with boundary settings. Through treatment, she learned that her need to constantly justify her actions stemmed from a deep-seated fear of rejection and a desire to be liked by everyone. Lois's therapy helped her understand that setting boundaries was not only acceptable but necessary for her mental well-being. I think the colder I get, the faster I read. With this newfound knowledge, Lois began making small changes in her life. She started by saying no to requests that didn't align with her values or goals, without feeling the need to provide lengthy explanations. Yeah, I agree with that. She also began to prioritize her own needs and desires, such as taking time for self-care and pursuing her passion for painting. As Lois continued to work on setting boundaries and letting go of the need to explain herself, she noticed a significant improvement in her mental health and overall happiness. She felt more in control of her life and less burdened by others' expectations. Lois realized that by embracing her authenticity and trusting her instincts, she could lead a more fulfilling life on her terms. Key takeaways: setting personal boundaries is crucial for maintaining mental well-being and leading a fulfilling life. The only problem is, if we actually set all the boundaries we want to, we'd all be alone. Psychology supports the idea that you don't owe anyone an explanation for certain aspects of your life. Staying true to your values and beliefs is essential for maintaining a strong sense of self and autonomy. You're the architect of your life. Your choices should be based on your goals and aspirations. All emotions are valid. You don't need to justify them to anyone. Past experiences and traumas are intensely personal. You can share or keep them private. Your physical appearance and body are yours alone, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for how to look and what you do with your body. Setting and maintaining personal boundaries is crucial for preserving mental well-being. Your sexual orientation and gender identity are inherent parts of who you are. You don't owe anyone an explanation or justification for them. Financial situations, spending habits are personal matters, and you don't need to justify your decisions to anyone. Mental health struggles are prevalent, and seeking treatment is a sign of strength, not weakness. You have the right to privacy regarding your mental health journey. Your personal goals and aspirations reflect your unique desires and ambitions, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for what to achieve in life. Embracing your uniqueness, trusting your instincts, and recognizing that your life is yours can help you maintain a healthy boundary and lead a fulfilling life. Conclusion: setting and maintaining healthy boundaries is essential for preserving mental well-being and leading a fulfilling life. By recognizing that you don't owe anyone explanations for these 10 aspects of life, you can focus on yourself, acceptance, and autonomy, and personal growth. Embrace your uniqueness, trust your instincts, and remember that your life is your own to live, free from the need to justify choices of others. In other words, fuck you, I'll do what I want. The entire article could have just been that. That is good. 2 good psychology articles in 2 days. Quebec's housing crisis is causing mental health issues. Community group says, no kidding. Basic human rights needs. Well, I'm gonna have to go home. It's too fucking cold. Freezing my balls off. Earth's twin Venus lost its water and became a hellish planet. A Rosetta Stone for mathematics. Iconic Vancouver Museum reopening after 18-month closure and monumental changes. No bean coffee, made from things like date seeds, may be in our near future. Surprised we don't have the synthetic coffee by now. Alphabet-owned Intrinsic incorporates NVIDIA tech into robotics platform. Teens come up with trigonometry. Teens come up with trigonometry proof for Pythagorean theorem, a problem that stumped math world for. Alright. Guess we're having a math day today. So why isn't this news? Big news. A 2,000-year-old mouth problem solved by two all-Catholic girls in New Orleans. Shouldn't that be more? I may be wrong. What the fuck do I know? Right, Grace. CRISPR-crafted cuisine. How genetic engineering is changing what we eat. Buddha taught us to be happy with less. How does this apply to climate crisis? Duh. AI could help find a solution for string theory. No shit. Parent-child housing costs. Parent-child housing co-ownership most likely in BC. Was the Stone Age really the Wood Age? With a wave of his hand, a Vancouver punk rock legend becomes Theremin Man. Adobe throws photographers under the bus again. Skip the photo shoot. 9 signs someone isn't very honest person according to psychology. Perfect. So should be enough to end this. Nine signs someone isn't a very honest person according to psychology. We've all been there, Grace. That niggling feeling that someone just isn't being straight with you. But how can you tell? Well, according to psychology, there are certain signs that can indicate someone isn't the most honest individual. Now, I'm no Sherlock Holmes, but understanding these signs can certainly help you navigate tricky situations, and perhaps even steer clear of dishonest people. So let's dive into these 9 telltale signs that someone might not be as honest as they say. Trust me, some of them might just surprise you. They're vague with details. Ooh, that doesn't surprise me. Have you ever had a chat with someone who seemed to conveniently dodge the specifics? Yeah, all the time. Psychology says this might be a sign they're not being entirely honest with you. You need psychology to figure that out? I think most people can figure that out. When people are being truthful because they're unable to provide details because they're recalling actual events, when people are being truthful, they're usually able to provide details because they're recalling actual events. But when someone is fabricating the story or bending the truth, they often struggle to add in these convincing specifics. It's like every fucking parent knows this. Or anyone that's been around someone that acts like a fucking kid. It's like trying to paint a picture without having all the colors. The result just doesn't feel quite right. So if someone you're talking to is constantly vague in their explanations or can't seem to give you clear answers, it could be a red flag that they're not playing straight with you. They avoid eye contact. As someone who spent a considerable amount of time studying Buddhism, I can tell you that being present and mindful is a central teaching. Now, what does Buddhism have to do with honesty? More than you might think. In Buddhism, maintaining eye contact is seen as a sign of respect and attentiveness. It shows that you're fully engaged in the conversation and are open to understanding the other person's perspective, or you're hot for them. However, when someone constantly avoids eye contact, it could be a sign they're not being completely honest, or they're autistic, if that exists, or they just don't like looking people in the eye. Psychologists suggest that people often avoid eye contact when they're uncomfortable, and lying can certainly cause discomfort. So if you notice someone constantly avoiding your gaze, it might be that they're hiding something. But keep in mind, some people may be naturally shy or anxious, and may struggle with maintaining eye contact. So it's good to consider all factors before drawing conclusions. Agreed. Their body language is off. Now, I'm no body language expert, but I've had my fair share of conversations. And let me tell you, body language can reveal a lot. When people lie, they tend to display subtle shifts in their behavior. They might fidget more, touch their face or mouth frequently, or even cross their arms defensively. You see, while our words can be manipulated, our bodies often tell the true story. It's like they have a mind of their own. I've personally noticed these quirks in people who later turned out to be less than truthful. So if you notice that someone's body language doesn't quite match up with what they're saying, it might be a sign they aren't being honest with you. They consistently break promises. In Buddhism, one of the key principles is keeping your word. It's about living with integrity and honoring your commitments. Now, we all have moments when we can't keep a promise due to unexpected circumstances. That's just life. However, if someone consistently fails to keep their promises, it might be a sign they aren't being honest with you. Think about it. If they can easily break their word, how can you trust them to be truthful? In fact, I delve into the importance of honesty and integrity in my book, Hidden Secrets of Buddhism: How to Live with Maximum Impact and Minimum Ego. It's a key aspect of living a fulfilled and mindful life. Get the book plug in there. So remember, somebody who habitually breaks promises may not be the most trustworthy individual. Trust is built on consistency, and broken promises chip away at that foundation. They're too good to be true. Here's a counterintuitive one for you. Sometimes the people who seem the most honest can turn out to be the least. You see, some people are experts at playing the part. They know exactly what to say and how to appear genuine, but underneath that perfect exterior, they might not be as honest as they seem. It's like they're putting on a performance, and unfortunately, we can sometimes be the unsuspecting audience. Psychology suggests that overly pleasing behaviors may sometimes mask dishonest intentions. So if someone is constantly agreeing with you, never has a bad day, or seems too perfect, it might be worth taking a closer look. Number 6. In Buddhism, compassion is a fundamental principle. It's about understanding the suffering of others and wanting to alleviate it. Now you might be wondering, what does compassion have to do with honesty? Well, consider this. People who lack compassion often struggle with empathy, and without empathy, it's much easier to bend the truth or withhold it without considering the impact of others. If someone consistently fails to show compassion or empathy, it might be a sign they're not being entirely honest with you. After all, honesty isn't just about telling the truth. It's also about being sincere and understanding their interactions with others. Number 7, they're often defensive. Over the years, I've noticed something interesting. People who are often defensive, even when there's no apparent reason to be, tend to be less honest. Psychology backs this up. When people are hiding something, they often react defensively to innocent questions or comments. It's like they're constantly on guard, ready to deflect any suspicion. I've seen it happen in personal relationships and even in professional settings. It's almost as if their guilt is making them jumpy and overly sensitive to criticism or scrutiny. So if someone always seems to be on the defensive, it could be a sign they're not being entirely forthcoming with you. Number 8, they're overly detailed. This one might surprise you a bit. I apologize for the sarcasm, Grace. It's just built into the voice. While I mentioned earlier that vague details could be a sign of dishonesty, the opposite can also be true. Sometimes when people lie, they overcompensate by providing excessive details. It's like they're trying to convince themselves as much as they are you. Liars often weave intricate stories to make their lies seem more believable. They think the more details they provide, the less likely you're to question their honesty. So if someone's story seems unnecessarily detailed or complex, it might be a sign they're not being honest with you. You're getting there. Number 9, they lack self-awareness. One of the central teachings in Buddhism is the concept of self-awareness. I don't know why we're doing all this Buddhism stuff all of a sudden, Grace, but one of the central teachings of Buddhism is the concept of self-awareness. It's about understanding your thoughts, actions, and motivations clearly. Now, when it comes to honesty, self-awareness plays a crucial role. You see, people who lack self-awareness... Overtime, Grace. I'm gonna finish this. You see, people who lack self-awareness often struggle with honesty. They might not even realize they're being dishonest because they don't fully understand their motivations or actions. If someone consistently seems oblivious to how their words and actions affect others, it could be a sign of dishonesty. Understanding oneself is the first step towards being honest with others. So watch for signs of self-awareness or lack thereof. It can tell you a lot about a person's capacity for honesty. Final thoughts. There you have it. 9 psychological signs that someone might not be as honest as they seem. Remember, these signs are not definitive proof of dishonesty, but they can give you some insight into a person's character. It's always best to approach situations with an open mind and consider all factors before making judgments. Well, how fair and balanced of you. I would say, be honest and don't be a cunt. Honesty is a fundamental part of human interactions, and understanding these signs can help us navigate a relationship more effectively. If you're interested in understanding more about honesty and integrity from a Buddhist perspective, check out my book. It's packed with insights that can help. You can live a more mindful and genuine life. Did you like my article? Like me on Facebook. Talk to you tomorrow, Grace.